Hello everyone. Good afternoon, my dear students. Students, I hope all of you have done well in this examination. Of course, because the paper was very easy, and so I think if you would have prepared well, then definitely you have done well. So students, now the time has come when you need to focus on solving the MCQs. And earlier also I told you that the more you solve, then it will increase your confidence, and you will learn different types of different patterns of questions also, and in this way you can learn how to manage the time. So time management is very important, student, that how many questions you are going to solve in up to this time. So this you have to learn. So please be present in all the examinations, and I also requested you many of times be present in the live class and see all the recording classes as well. And next time on the 1st September there will be exam again, and that will be on cumulative test. So again we will take all the units and from morphology and families, and maybe some questions will be from embryology also. So be prepared for that and solve more and more questions from the material which is provided to you by our college. So students, let's discuss today's paper first. What is the solution of today's paper? So the first question which is here, a dicot plant showing parallel venation. So I hope you know this is taken from the leaf chapter, very important chapter, that is many of time questions are asked, also previously in many times from this chapter questions came. So here also a dicot plant showing parallel venation. I explained you what is venation. The arrangement of veins, midrib veins and veinlets on the lamina is called venation, and it is of two types. One is parallel and one is reticulate. All dicots have generally reticulate venation. That means midrib veins and veinlets are arranged in such a manner that they form net-like structure. That is about reticulate venation, and all dicots have. And parallel venation is that veins are run parallel to each other on the lamina. So here it is a dicot plant. Plant is dicot, but generally what happens in dicot, reticulate venation is there. But a twisted question, this is a twisted question, and in this question, what is there? A dicot plant, first of all, which is showing parallel venation. What should be there in dicot? Reticulate, but here in parallel. So which plant is dicot? Calophyllum is a dicot plant, and it is having parallel type of venation. Whereas in Smilex, if you see the option A, Smilex it belongs to family Liliaceae, that is a characteristic family of monocot. So in Smilex it is a Liliaceae monocot plant, but it has having reticulate venation. So these two examples you have to remember. Smilex is a monocot plant, but it is having reticulate venation, and a Calophyllum is a dicot plant, and it is having parallel venation. So answer here is B. See, in the key also I have given B. Now let's see the next question. Verticilluster inflorescence occurs in. Inflorescence chapter it is. Verticel. Verticel means false whorl. Verti means false whorl. Whorl-like structure which is formed on the axil of the leaf. On the axil of leaf, what happens? Two leaves are present in the opposite. On the node, two leaves are present, opposite type of phyllotaxy. And there, in inflorescence occurs in which family we can see? In Lamiaceae, or it is Labiatae. That means one example of Labiatae is Ocimum sanctum, Leucas aspera. These are some examples. So answer here is D. And next, third question. In Cyatheum, the ratio between female to male flower. Cyatheum, this question is also from inflorescence, also a very important lesson, and questions are very simple. If you remember, this is a special type. Verticilluster is a special type of inflorescence. Cyatheum is also a special type of inflorescence. And very interesting question. In Cyatheum, it is cup-like structure. One of the Bracts forms cup-like structure. And in that cup, one female flower is there. I explained you that day. If you remember, if you have gone through that special type of inflorescence, then you can easily answer this question. Because one female flower, tricarpellary female flower is present. The structure, if you see, it was like that. One with the trifid stigma, one female flower is present, and this is the cup-like structure, and surrounding it many male flower. Each stamen is considered as a male flower. So many male flowers are present which surrounds the female flower, single female. A pistil is considered as female flower, and the stamens are known as male flower. So surrounding one female flower, many male. So the ratio, if you see the ratio, the question is in Cyatheum, the ratio between female and male flower. Female means here pistil. So female, how many female flower is there? Only one. And the surrounding it, how many male flowers are there? Many. So answer is B. So this is the B is the answer. Now let's see. Prop roots of banyan tree are meant for. From root modification. This question is taken from root modification. We have seen prop root, that is in prop root modification, we have seen that some adventitious branches, adventitious roots arises from the branches of the tree, and it again reaches to the soil, and when it fixes itself with the soil, what it is meant for, what it gives, it helps in providing support to the big tree. The tree is very big. To provide externally, to provide mechanical support, these adventitious roots arises from the branch of the tree. So the C is the answer. Now next question, if we see, which is not a stem modification. Here in A you can find rhizome of ginger. Students, rhizome of ginger is a stem modification or not? Of course, it is a stem modification. Which type of stem modification? Underground type of stem modification. In underground stem modification, rhizome is there, horizontally fixed particular depth, I told you, and there are examples: ginger, turmeric, canna, musa. But musa means banana. These are example of rhizomatous stem. There are many other also we have seen in Liliaceae. And corm of colocasia. In colocasia, the corm is also an underground stem, and it vertical type of underground stem, which is in the particular depth it also grows. And tuber of potato, stem tuber, this is also an underground stem. So here the question is, which is not a stem modification? All the three, A, B and D, these are under stem modifications. Only pitcher of Nepenthes, the pitcher plant, which is known as pitcher plant. The pitcher is modification of leaf, or we can say the parts of leaf modify into pitcher-like structure to trap the insects, where the nitrogen in the nitrogen deficient land, to get the nitrogen, the plant trap the insects. So this is the modification of leaf, students. So here the answer, the question is not a stem modification. That means C is the answer. I hope you understood. Now let's see the next one. A modification of petiole. Petiole modification, again question from leaf. Petiole modification. Phyllodes. Phyllodes is a modification. Corm is stem modification. Phylloclade. In xerophytic phylloclade, we have seen stem modify into leaf-like structure and leaf modify into spines-like structure to reduce the rate of transpiration. And corm is underground stem modification. Cladode. So phyllodes, it is the petiole. Petiole, what happens at the time of formation of phyllodes? The leaves fall off, and the petiole, which is holding the leaf, that the rachis you can say, or petiole, it expands in size and it becomes green in color, and it is known as phyllodes, and it do the function of the leaf. That means this phyllodes performs it does the function of leaf, means it performs photosynthesis. So answer is A. See in the key also. Cyatheum inflorescence is found in Cyatheum. again, Cyathium inflorescence, very, very important. All the examples you have to by heart. Of course, you think the similar type of questions, these are not similar. But there in Cyathium, we asked how many male and female flowers are there. Here the question is, which is the example? That means you have to remember the example, you have to understand the concept, by heart all those things, then only you can answer. So, and in the meantime, you have to practice more and more type of questions. So, question can be asked in any way. So, the answer is then Cyathium inflorescence euphorbia. Of course, it is the characteristic feature of in Euphorbiaceae family, Cyathium type of inflorescence we find. And croton also belongs from Euphorbiaceae, but here the inflorescence is not Cyathium type. So answer is C. Pappus is modification. Pappus is modification of which part modifies into pappus? So see, if all the parts not all the parts modifies into corolla, do not modify into pappus like structure, bracts do not. It is calyx which forms pappus. And what is pappus? These are hairy structure. In Asteraceae family, in Compositae family, the examples we have seen in sunflower, in tridax, in chrysanthemum, in marigold, these plants, these flowers have, in these flowers, calyx becomes pappus like structure and hairy pappus like structure, and it helps in the dispersal of seed after fertilization. Fruit of groundnut. Groundnut fruit is which type of fruit? It is legume, because fruit is underground and the fruit is legume fruit type. That means dry dehiscent. That dry fruits have three types. We discussed about it. Dry dehiscent, that means after the maturity fruit breaks and then seeds comes out. Dry indehiscent, one is type of dry indehiscent. What happens? The fruit never break. Even after the maturity, fruit do not break. Only after the complete disintegration, the seeds come out. And the one is schizocarpic. Small bits form. It forms bits like structure. Schizocarpic. Here the groundnut is legume type. That means dry dehiscent fruit. Answer is B. So here B is the answer. The first whorl of flower is of. Very simple question. Very, very simple. If you know the structure of flower, you can answer it easily, because flower consists of four main parts, four whorls: calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. Calyx is the outermost part, the first part. All these things, all these parts, all these whorl are present on the receptacle only. So thalamus only it is present, and the outermost whorl is called sepal. Calyx, the individually it is called sepal, and sepal is green in color. And what is the function of sepal? That we know, because it is green in color and it protects the flower when it is in bud stage. So next question, if you see, juicy hair-like structures observed in the lemon fruit develops from. See, very important and interesting also. If you see, this is from fleshy fruits. This question is from fleshy fruit. And if you remember the fleshy fruits, we talked about the Hesperidium. In Hesperidium, we have seen that the pericarp is actually in fleshy fruits, pericarp is distinguished into three types: outer epicarp, middle mesocarp, and inner endocarp. So here, what is the question? The question is juicy hair-like structure observed in the lemon, which we take up in which we eat. The juicy hair-like structure in lemon fruit develops from which part? From the pericarp. From which part it develops? Because in fleshy fruit, pericarp is distinguished into three parts, and with pericarp seeds are present. So in the lemon, in the Hesperidium fruit, in the lemon, if we see, the outer epicarp is leathery, and it is with oil glands. So when we just we spray that, the oil will come outside. So squeeze, if you squeeze the leather part, the outer part, epicarp, if you squeeze that, the oil will come out from the glands. And the second part, which is known as mesocarp, the mesocarp is white and peppery. paper-like structure. So that is not juicy. And the third innermost is endocarp. The endocarp is juicy hair-like structure which we eat. So the juicy hair-like structure observed in the lemon fruit is endocarp. So all these the things explained well. What is exocarp in lemon fruit? It is leathery. Mesocarp is white and peppery. And mesocarp, endocarp, both we cannot take. We take only endocarp juicy. So the juicy hair-like is of course endocarp. So answer is C. In Dianthus, placentation is Dianthus. This is free central placentation. In Dianthus we see free central. See what is the definition of free central? In free central placentation, you see this is it is monocarpellary and unilocular also, and placenta is in the center, and on the placenta freely ovules are present. So this type of arrangement if you see, that is free central placentation. Exile placentation also looks similar. You can say me that in exile placentation also we can observe that ovules are in the center only. But what is the difference between exile and free central placentation is that in the exile placentation it is divided, the carpels are present 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just I told you in Abelmoschus in Bhindi, if you cut the section you can see, and inside that locule it is pentalocular structure. So either bi to multilocular structure is present, and there in the middle placenta is there, and in the middle ovules are present in this way. So here it is bicarpellary and to multicarpellary, bilocular to multilocular, whereas in pre-central monocarpellary, unilocular, and placenta is in the center and ovules are present in there only. So answer is free central. See the 13th one. The term keel is used for special type of. Wow, very good question. Keel word where we use, and for you we use this word for which organ? We use this for carpels. No, not carpels. Sorry, this is not carpels. Not even stamens. Then what is it? Sepals? No, this is also not. Keel word is used for petals. So now let's just explain you. In Fabaceae family, so see D, C and A is not correct, that is clear. And why petals? Because in Fabaceae family we have seen that one is large petal, that is known as standard petal, and below that two petals are present which is known as wing petals, and below the wing petals two petals are present which are both shaped in structure, very small, that is known as keel petals. So and the another name for keel petal is carina, and that we observed in Papilionaceae family, in Fabaceae family. In pea plant I explained you. So the term keel is used for which organ? For corolla, not for carpel. C for corolla and C for carpel. You don't go for carpel. It is petal, and individually corolla is called petal. So keel is used for petals. So answer is B. And edible part of potato. What is potato? Potato is a stem modification. So not inflorescence, not root. It is a stem modification, underground stem modification. What happens? Some of the branches of the stem go inside the soil. Some of these are the branches of the stem. And at the tip of these branches, it stores food materials and it becomes bulges, and this forms potato, which is a stem tuber. So the edible part of potato is D, stem. This is the answer. Now let's see the 15th. Fibers are usually obtained from the members of fibers, Crotalaria gentiana, and we obtained fibers from Leguminaceae. This family provides fiber. So C is the answer. Nicotiana And Petunia belongs to which family? Nicotiana tabacum, tobacco plant. Petunia, this belongs to Solanaceae family. So you have to remember all the names also. The technical names, that means scientific names, or you can say botanical names, and the common names. You should remember all these things. So Solanaceae, it belongs to family Solanaceae. Now, the drug belladonna is obtained from the medicinal importance. It is alkaloid. Atropine is taken from the Atropa belladonna. So the drug belladonna is obtained from plant Atropa. Key A. So A is the answer, and I explained you Atropa belladonna, atropine we get, and it is having medicinal importance. Now let's see the next question, the floral formula of P. P is represented by, the floral P belongs to which family? Fabaceae family. And in the Fabaceae family, let's see how do we write the floral formula? If bracts are present or not there. Of course, if you see the floral diagram, or if you remember the flower structure, you will find bract-like structure. Bracts are present at the base of the pedicel. So bracts are present. See, in this, bracteoles are also present. Of course, in this diagram, this formula, it is not written. But BR means bracts are present, and BRL, that means bracteoles are present. If bracts are not present, we write EBR. So bracts are present, and the percentage sign, when I put a percentage here, that means this sign is for zygomorphic. Of course, P, in the pea flower, if you say, see, one large petal is there, that is called standard petal, two small wing and two very small keel petals. So this is zygomorphic. Zygomorphic means we cut the flower into two equal halves from only a single plane crossing to the center. So zygomorphic, we have to put that sign here, and this is sign is for male and female. So in the pea flower, we can see both male and female flowers are parts are present, and androecium is there and gynoecium is there. So this sign is for that. And the calyx, okay, how many number of calyx? 5 number of calyx we have observed there, and they are united. So when united, that means we put that in, enclose that in brackets. So here K5 within brackets, and C, the number of corolla, 1 plus 2 plus 2, the last 2 is in within bracket. What does it mean? Well, we can write number 5 and within bracket? No. Here it shows that 1 means one large petal is there, which is separated, which is not united, and plus 2, the wing petals are present below the standard petal. It is also not united, only the boat-shaped small keel petals are united. So 1 plus 2 plus 2. So the correct, this formula is correct. Next, see, androecium. 10 stamens are present, and 10 stamen out of 10, 9 are united and 1 is separated because it is diadelphous, 2 delphus present. So 9 plus 1 arrangement, 9 united. So within bracket enclosed, I enclose this 9 in the bracket, and 1 is separated. And G1, because only single carpel is present, and it is syncarpus, naturally it is syncarpus, one carpel is present, and if only one carpel is present, then no need to put it into bracket. And here when I put a line, that means G position is superior. Actually in Fabaceae it is either perigynous or hypogynous. If it is hypogynous, if it is superior ovary, then we put a line below the G to show the position of G superior, and if it is perigynous, that means half superior, half in, we put a line in the middle. Here this A is the correct answer. Now let's see the 19th. Which of the following statement is correct? For flower, which of the following? Flower is a modified root. No. Flower. Next, flower is a modified shoot. Of course, that day also I explained you flower is a modified stem, because on all the nodes separate, it is in a condensed form. The condensed form in all the nodes, one whorl is for calyx, next corolla, next androecium, and fourth one is for gynoecium. So it is B the answer. Fruit legume is characteristic feature of. In which family we can observe Leguminosae? In Fabaceae. So this is the characteristic simply remember. You something you have to remember. And in some questions and patterns, you have seen that you have to remember the concept as well as you have to understand. Some technical questions are there, so you have, when you solve many questions, more questions, then only you will be able to know that which type of question it is and how to solve this question. So students, I hope all of you have understood this, and you liked this, the paper discussion, today's paper discussion. Please student, be very sincere, very sincere. I just request you to be sincere in the class, and watching the videos. Complete day to every day's videos, the same the day itself when I post it, so that will be more easy later on. Otherwise later on it will be burden for you students, because maximum time you are staying at home only, and you just it takes only half an hour to watch a video. Watch the video, write the notes clearly, and then go on practicing the material. That's what I expect from you students. And thank you very much for listening the me, and take care of yourself till then, when we in the meet in the next time. Yeah.
అప్పుడప్పుడు అవుతుంది మేడం, ఏం కాదు, మీరేం వరి అవ్వద్దు. నేను లేట్ తీసుకున్నాను, ఏం కాదు.